In this episode of Cruising with Dummies, we're going to be talking about all the different types of cabins. There are so many types of cabins, so you want to pick the right one for your cruise. So come along and check out all the different types. Hi guys, it's Shipbase here, and this is episode 3 of Cruising with Dummies. And we're going to be talking about all types of cabins. Now there are so many different types of cabins, more than ever before. We have 3-story family suites to solo internals. We have accessible rooms, internal balconies. There's so many to choose from, and you want to make sure you pick the right one for your cruise. So we're going to go through all the different types of grades of cabins, and I'm going to be showing you lots of different types so you can pick the right one for your cruise. So with cruising, there's 4 types of cabins. You have interiors, ocean views, balconies, and suites. We're going to start off with interiors as they're the lowest grade, and we'll work our way up. So internals traditionally don't have a window, and they're just basically the cheapest room you can physically get on board. And yeah, but some do have windows, but they're just facing inside the ship. So on Royal Caribbean's Freedom and Voyager class ships, they have promenade facing rooms, and they are slightly more expensive than internals, but you do get a window and it faces onto the promenade. I'm not too sure how many other ships do those. But yeah, that's just one of the examples. So you definitely want to have a look just in case if you do want that internal but do want a window, some ships may offer them. They also have virtual balconies on some ships where you have floor-to-ceiling windows and it shows a live picture of what's outside. Yeah, they're really good. Just so you have some sort of like knowledge of what time of the day is. Because in internals it is literally pitch black, and you will, when you wake up, not know what time unless you have a phone, or some people do take clocks to just know what the time of day is as well. So yeah, there's lots to choose from. You can also look into cabin location, depending if you want to be mid-ship, back of the ship, or front of the ship. Lots of people like to do middle of the ship, but nowadays where there's like bigger ships where there's more balconies there, it's normally there's like big blocks at the front of it. They look like mazes and like on the ships. But on traditional ships, that they are just like one side's balconies, the other side's internals. So yeah, definitely look at what location your cabin is going to be. So let's move on to ocean views. Now again, there's a few different types of ocean views. You have the traditional porthole, which is like a circle or a square window, and normally they're on like decks. Depending on, like, they're on the lower decks, like I'd say 2 to 3, or maybe on some of the ships 4 to 5. They're just those kind of lower rooms. But then you also have ocean views at the front of the ship, where you have the front-facing view of like the helipad, or you have like panoramic ocean views, which are right at the front of the ship with floor-to-ceiling windows. Some ships do offer those, and they are a really amazing view, especially during sea days and going in and out of ports. So there's lots of different types of ocean views, so you definitely want to, again, check where you want to be, and if you do want to pay extra for that front or like side facing view, I had an ocean view on Royal Europa on deck 14, and that was a pretty cool ocean view as well. Also, just talking about these sort of grades of cabins do have solo rooms as well on some cruise lines. NCL, Royal Caribbean has a few, but they hardly do them, and MSC on their newer ships do have solo rooms as well. So those are definitely, if you're a solo traveller, look into NCL and MSC. Those are the best cruise lines for solo travellers, and I find the best prices as well. So now let's move on to balconies. Again, so many different types of balconies nowadays. We've got the traditional balcony, which you would probably think of, which is just outside the ship with an ocean view. You get a few chairs on the balcony. But now they have interior balconies as well, facing onto the interior of the ship. MSC and Royal Caribbean currently have those. Disney, I think, is going to have them with a new Disney adventure. And NCL is joining the market of mega ships, so I'd assume there's no plans about that one yet, but they'll be joining that market as well. So basically, these are big areas of the ship where you will have a balcony, but it will be facing inside the ship, and they are normally cheaper than ocean views. So yeah, if you want a balcony and outdoor space, but you don't want to pay the price of an ocean view, these are definitely well to look at on MSC and Royal Caribbean. You can either have Boardwalk, Central Park, or World Promenade on MSC. So yeah, I've stayed in both of them. So it is a really not paying the ocean view price, but you still get a really big space. Especially a little thing on Oasis Class ships. I have a video of my Wonder of the Seas balcony. If you book a certain room, I can't remember the name, the number, you get like an extra space. So it's always good to look at deck plans, because you will find you might get extra spaces depending on if you're on like an end or where there's a gap. You might get extra space. You might not normally, but some ships you may. So definitely have a look at the deck plan again while booking your balcony. Again, like the other ones, check where you want to be on the ship, because on some cruise lines, the middle or the back of the ship is more expensive than the front. So if you want to get a balcony but it's cheaper, then you can go to like the front of the ship. But they do charge premium for that normal midship, because that's where most people want to be. So yeah, definitely check into those sort of pricing as well. So let's talk sleeping arrangements. Well, lots of cruise lines do it slightly differently. These are a few examples. So in some rooms you have a sofa bed, which turn into a third and fourth person, or a third person. Then they have, cruise lines have where the sofa bed turns into one bed, and then the bed comes over and it turns into bunk beds. And then they have ones where the two beds are at the back of the room, and then there's two beds that come out either side of the building that make it a third and fourth person. So yeah, there's so many different ways that they can do it. You can check on the deck plan, and there will be a key at the bottom to tell you which one it would match to. There will be like a little symbol, like a square or circle or a rectangle, and it will tell you which one is which. So yeah, it depends what you want out of your cruise. They also do connecting rooms, where that also happens in hotels on land. That they you buy two rooms and there'll be a door in the middle, and that is offered on cruise lines as well. So you basically have double everything instead of everyone cramming into one room. That's what I did growing up with my parents. They always put us in the connecting room or the room opposite us when we got slightly older. They'd have a balcony and they'd stick us in the cheap internal. But it depends what you want, because they, when you're trying to book a cruise, if you're booking a cruise with just one cabin, just for two people, try and avoid booking connecting rooms, because sometimes you can hear a bit more noise and sound from the door. But if you're looking for that, it's definitely well worth it, because you do get double the space, and it isn't normally that much more expensive than when you have everyone in the same room. You're talking maybe £500 more, but then you do get double the space. So it depends if you want them in the same room or in a separate room. So yeah, that's kind of the sleeping arrangements. You get in higher rooms where you get family rooms and stuff, where there will be like a separate like bunk bed area, but you're talking family suites, or you're talking high suites and a lot more money. So it would be better to look into the Pullman beds, sofa beds, or the connecting rooms if you're trying to look for a third or fourth person. They also do fit adults as well, so if you're looking to go for a weekend away, you can fit 4 adults in a room on some ships. But those rooms do book up quite quickly, so when you're looking at booking, let's say, a lake cruise, sometimes you cannot use the sofa bed, because basically the double capacity will only allow so many double beds to be used. So every room is fit for 2, but people can use third and fourth, but only so many rooms can be used for third and fourth before the ship is too full, and they would just not let you use the sofa bed. I've seen that on a cruise recently. I was looking for my friends, and she wouldn't let you add the charge, because basically every other bed has been used up already. So if you do want to use the sofa bed or the Pullman beds, definitely look to book as early as possible. So yeah, so many cabins. And then also with people that need accessible rooms, normally they have every single grade of cabin as an accessible room. Some ships, depending on how old or how new they are, the new ones will have better facilities and more rooms, but the older ships may only have a certain amount of accessible rooms due to it not being as new. But there should be definitely accessible rooms for most grades across all cruise lines, especially the newer ships. Now let's move on to suites. Now there's so many different types. I keep saying this, I can't repeat myself. There's so many different types of suites. So you have junior suites, you have like 3-story suites, duplex suites. You got like suite areas, and then you've got suites not in the area. So yeah, lots of different grades. There's so many. every cruise line has a different grade of suites. Like I physically can't go through every single one of them. You have like the Haven with NCL, which is their suite anyway. You have the Yacht Club with MSC. You've got and then with like P&O, you don't really get. They do have the Retreat, but you have to pay to get into that. But they they don't really have like, you get your suite and that's it. Same with other cruise lines, you get a suite, you maybe get like a suite lounge, but there's not like massive facilities. But then if you do the Haven or the Yacht Club on MSC, you get a whole like bar, restaurant, pool decks. You get a lot for your money. So it's really well to do your research when especially you've picked your cruise line and you're looking at your cabins. Like on MSC, just for example, they have a raw suites which get their own dining room and their own pool, like exclusive pool deck. They call it like a staring area, but it's like a pool deck. And on like Virtuoso, they have like one hot tub there and some sun lounges. On Wardropa, they have a bar and 2 hot tubs. So it depends on what type of ship you're going on. But then they also have the Yacht Club, and then that's where the service, the private bar, private restaurant, private pool deck, that's where that all comes in. So there's 2 different types of suites at 2 different type of price points on the same cruise line, and so that it does happen for a few cruise lines. On like Royal Caribbean, Independence of the Seas, sailing from the UK, you don't really get much space. You get the suite lounge and a concierge, but there's no like private pool or private bar or hot tub. So yeah, there's definitely to look into depending on what ship you're doing, depending on the facilities that you're going to be getting. Because some of the older ships don't have as good facilities, and then the newer ones are getting like really cool facilities. So then you have also like duplex suites where they're like 2-story, and some of them have hot tubs. Some of the suites are crazy. And you have the ultimate townhouse suite on Icon of the Seas, which is 3 stories and has a slide, and it's crazy. Royal Caribbean's Royal Suites have a piano in the lounge, which is and it pays itself, which is a cool thing. So yeah, there's so many different types of suites. You have on Virgin Voyages, you have your own cocktail mixing area where you can use as well. So yeah, there's so many different types of suites. If you want your picture cruise line, you can probably do some research to find the exact suite you want, depending on your price point. But going back through all the cabins, I personally I've stayed in every single grade. I'm very lucky to do so, and I've enjoyed the cruise no matter what room I'm in, because no matter what room you're in, the ship's basically the same. So whatever your price point is, you have a nice room, but then also the rest of the ship is identical, apart from if you have like the odd private pool deck or something like that. But it's mainly 95% all the same. So no matter what cabin grade you're choosing, you're sure to have a great cruise holiday. If you have any questions about any of the cabins that I've talked about, please put in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you may have about the cabins the cabins I have talked about. Thank you so much for watching. It's been Shipface here. If you like what I see, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel. It's very much appreciated, and it really does help me out. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Links to below to go and follow me on those platforms. Thank you for watching. It's been Shipface here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.